dear guests, it is a pleasure and honor to host your delegation to the Parliament of Georgia. We had the opportunity to meet yesterday, and I hope that you had productive meetings during yesterday and today, and I hope that you received the warm welcome that you deserve in our country. So once again, I welcome my colleague from Israeli Knesset, Mr. Hilik Bar, the chair of the Georgian caucus in Israel, a very good friend of our country. I welcome the chair of the Israeli House, the wonderful person who does the most for the Israeli-Georgia relationships. I welcome Francois Moïse, the president of the AEPJ, who gives the opportunity and looks like creates new wonderful opportunities for cultural exchanges. And also obviously to welcome Christian Ursen, the head of Council of Europe delegation to Georgia, who is not only the great friend to Georgia, but also contributes a lot to the cultural roots which Georgia is part of. So just very briefly, we spoke yesterday, we discussed yesterday. Once again, I want to repeat that Georgians are very proud of the centuries of friendship between Jewish and Georgian people, between the love, friendship, and very good relationships that there are genuinely between our nations. And we're very precious and proud of that. And today is, as always, it is a good opportunity from our side to express this appreciation and this love. So once again, I welcome you here, and I pass the floor to my colleague, Honorable Hilik Bar, please.
Tamar, my good friend, my colleague, thank you very much for inviting us to this very important hall, the Parliament. Itzik Moshe, everyone already told how much you are doing for Israel and Georgia, and it's not enough. It's not enough because again and again, and you know, Tamar, when we were here, your colleague, the deputy chairman, came here and told me, this is like your 18th time here or something. I told him, who's counting? But you know, this time I'm even more excited to see what you and Itzik and AEPJ did, and it's also an opportunity to thank you, Francois Moïse, for being a new partner, but you are going to partner with us a lot of time in the future. What you're doing in AEPJ generally, and also here in just 2 days, it's I think it's an historic connections. You were connected to the parliament, to the government, to the Israeli parliament, and of course to the Israeli House, and with the assistance of you, Christian, and the Council of Europe, that I was a proud member and delegate to your council. This is a quartet that will make a lot of good things in the future. We're standing in Georgia, which, like Jerusalem, that I coming from, like Israel, have a very, very long heritage, Jewish heritage, and general heritage also, but Jewish heritage. And I know that today you will go to Metzcheta to make a tour. I'm sorry I will not be able to join, but you will see in Metzcheta, a very old city, the old capital, by the way, of Georgia. You will see there, or I don't know if you will visit, but 2,500 years remains of Jewish activity. And you know, Tamar, Jews are all over the world, or used to be all over the world, also today, but in the past. But not all the countries treated Jews as well as Georgia. In Georgia, Jews were always safe. They were always welcome, no matter who was in power, what party, what ruler. He liked the Jews, he respected the Jews. We saw the different synagogues, the different Jewish communities, that most of them today are in Israel, proudly member of Israel. Some of them are here, and I always hear about how much cooperation any government or ruler of Georgia had with Jews throughout these thousands of years. And to think that we had huge mega wars in Europe, but not a single Jew got hurt in Georgia, a small country, not an empire military-wise, okay? This is something that we can not even imagine. I'm a grandson of a Holocaust survivor, a Polish one. 2/3 of his family were eliminated in the Holocaust in World War II. And my father made Aliyah from Morocco, who also Jews lived there for many years. But there were times that also in Arab and Muslim states, Jews weren't welcome and they were deported from Arab states, from Spain, from Europe, never from Georgia. And this is amazing. And wherever and whenever I meet Georgian people in my capacity as the chairman of the friendship group with Georgia, I'm hearing, whenever I'm meeting Georgian people, Georgian Jews, they're still talking with a lot of warmth. They're missing Georgia. They're telling about our life here and how much it was amazing to be. They're very proud to be Georgian Jews. It's not the case with everyone. So I think it's another opportunity, Francois, to say also in behalf of the Jewish people, because you know you're also Jewish in your free time, to say thank you to Georgia as a state, as a historic place that we were always here. And next time that you will come, you will witness in different cities. I hope you will live at Tbilisi, to Kutaisi, to other places to see what a huge communities we used to have there, the beautiful synagogue, the beautiful heritage that I think that AEPJ can be witnessing on the ground, the Jewish heritage here. I'm going to stay here a couple of more days to prepare the Israel Week. At the end of April, beginning of May, we will have a whole week dedicated to Israel, dedicated to the connection between Israel and Georgia. And I think that Israel and Georgia today are the best friends. Georgia is one of the greatest allies, I think, after the United States. And we can see the change throughout the years of the support in Georgia to Israel. So we will make sure that in this week we will have many events that will strengthen the Jewish connection of Georgia, also to Europe, but also to take one level up the relations between Georgia and Israel. And I'm very proud that in my few years as chairman, together with your leadership, Tamar, we took the relations one step further. And today there is no doubt that your caucus and my caucus in the Knesset are the strongest caucus, the most active caucuses. I told you, being the deputy speaker is just a side job that we're having next to the Israeli-Georgian Friendship Parliamentary Group, and I'm very proud of it. So I would like to see all of you. We will invite the government of Georgia and the Parliament of Georgia to take a part of Israel Week that we are so lucky to do together with you and together with the Israeli House that is investing a lot of time and effort and resources in it. So it's a good opportunity to thank you also, Itzik Moshe, a true partner of the relation of Israel and Georgia. We are all committed to make sure that the Israel-Georgia Week in the beginning of May will be a very successful one, and that will be it will be possible to take our relation even one step farther and make it stronger if it's possible. So I want to thank you, Tamar. I want to thank you, Itzik, Francois, and Christian, and all of the guests here for being part of building Georgia-Israel relations and being part of strengthening the Jewish connection to Georgia, to Europe, and of course to our beloved Israel. So thank you very much, Didi Magloba, and I hope we'll have a great day. Thank you.
Hilik, I think you're becoming Georgian, so be careful. Yes, so other caucuses should be envious and jealous, actually, because I do not think that they can beat the friendship that Georgia and Israel Knesset has. So I would pass the floor to Itzik Moshe, who is the president of the Israeli House, and we politicians take the credit, but actually he does the job. So actually credit goes to him for all these activities, amazing events that he keeps organizing in Georgia. So thank you, and please take the floor.
Thanks. Mr. Francois, today I can say that is historical day that Jewish heritage in Georgia opened for Council of Europe, for AEPJ. The word on the speech, what I want to say, it's more emotional. If I will say in Georgian or Hebrew, Eliamid will translate to me. Kushin, Kalbatono Tamar, მე დავინახე რომ ებრაული მემკვიდრეობის წარმოდგენა ეს არის საქართველოს წარმოდგენა.
Yesterday I saw that Jewish heritage promotion and it is Georgian popularization entirely.
გუშინ მარჯანიშვილის თეატრის შემდეგ რა ჩვენ დავინახეთ მე მომივიდა ასოციაცია რომ დავწერო ერთი პოსტი.
Yesterday we were at the Marjanashvili Theater and after this it came to my mind to write a post.
ებრაელები და ქართველები არიან დიდი ერები, მაგრამ პატარა ქვეყნები.
Jewish and Georgian are big nations but small countries.
და მე მინდა ვთქვა რომ ჩვენ ცხოვრობთ იმ პერიოდში, როდესაც ვართ ბედნიერები და გვაქვთ უფლება რომ გქონდეს ქვეყანა, სახელმწიფო.
I want to say that we are living at a time that we are happy and we have the privilege that we have a country.
ეს არის ცენტრი მთელი ჩვენი აქტივობის.
This is the center of our activities.
დანარჩენი ყველაფერი არის საშუალება რომ ჩვენ გავაძლიეროთ ჩვენი ქვეყნები და ქვეყნების კავშირები.
The rest of our activities is only a way to achieve, to enhance the relationship between our countries.
მე მინდა მადლობა უთხრა AEPJ-ის პრეზიდენტს ბატონ ფრანსუას.
I would like to thank the president of AEPJ, Mr. François.
და მინდა გითხრათ რომ მე არ მჯერა რომ არის კიდევ რომელიმე ქვეყანა სადაც ასეთ საქმიანობას აქვს, ასეთი მხარდაჭერა, როგორც ქალბატონი თამარის და ბატონი ხილიკის.
I will not. I think that in no other country. In no other country there is this kind of a support that you got from like Mr. Tamar Tugashvili and from Georgia.
დიდი მადლობა ბატონ ქრისტიანს.
Thank you very much, Mr. Christian.
ჩვენ არა მხოლოდ უნდა გავაკეთოთ, ჩვენ ვართ ვალდებულები, რომ ჩვენი ქვეყნის ურთიერთობა გადავაქციოთ დიდ ხიდად ორი უძველესი კულტურის ქვეყნების შორის.
We have the privilege, but also we must do the maximum to turn the relationships between our countries to another bridge between our nations.
დიდი მადლობა, თודה რაბა.
Thank you very much.
I want to pass the floor to François Moïse, the president of AEPJ, and I'm really looking forward not only to pass my gratitude, but also to hear about those new routes and those new opportunities that emerge with time through your help and your work. Please.
Thank you very much, Ms. Tugashvili. I'm proud to be here, and I would like to thank you for giving us, as a private association, the opportunity to speak in this very prestigious house. Certainly many words were said. I could talk for half an hour about the fantastic welcome we've had. We visited yesterday the Israeli house, and many people said that what the Itzik Moshe and Israeli house are doing is worth 10 embassies here. It was said that this was an absolutely unique opportunity of cooperation, and I thank Mr. Hilik Bar for his kind words, because, you know, standing here in the flags of Georgia and the flag of Israel with the Jewish star actually is very dear to our hearts. And it shows that Israel, as a component of what the Jewish people is present everywhere. But we are a kind of bridge. By the way, a couple of years ago, we had this topic of the European Day of Jewish Culture, where it was bridging, you know. We are a bridge to different nations. We are a bridge to Europe, to the Jews, and Israel, certainly, but never was there a place where it was materialized like this. We've had the opportunity throughout Europe, thanks to the Council of Europe, to go to different places and see marvelous places of Jewish heritage. You can go to Sicily and find a mikveh, ritual baths of the Middle Ages. You can go to Trondheim in Norway and see the most northern synagogue in Europe. And we've seen many beautiful places in Western Europe, but it is true that we knew that there is some Jewish heritage here which is interesting, but it is a true opportunity not only to incorporate much more this great civilization which is marked by these synagogues and places here in Georgia, but much more to, I would like to give credit to the people. You know, there are some very different routes, and Mr. Urs knows that. You have, for example, the Mozart Trail, you know, where you follow different places where Mozart lived or evolved. I was thinking that we could do the same for Jewish people, and we could have the Einstein Trail and the Freud Trail, etc. But not. We have the Jewish Heritage Trail because we have many places to see, but we know that only places are worthwhile because people live there, and because today people with a heart like you do something about it. And this heart is really at the forefront of our meeting here. And I would like to say that certainly we all wish to come back soon here. This is my second visit here in Tbilisi, but this was an outstanding visit. And I would like to end by saying we have also here adopted 8 new members in our association with different projects, one of which is the Izmir project in southern Turkey, where we also discovered that there are 13 synagogues in this town, which is quite amazing. So we progressed in a lot of ways. And I would like to ask Asumsjos, our Secretary General, to come over and give a small present to Tamar. Is a small present and the booklet of our activities, please. This is to show you what we're doing. And this is a USB stick where you have also more information, video on what we are doing. I know you're busy, but if you have time, we'll be happy to share this with you. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, Francois. I'm thrilled with the present. Thank you so much. And last but not the least, my dear friend and the person who has great contribution not only in democratic progress of this country, but also turns out in Georgian Jewish relationships also through the Council of Europe. So please, Christian.
Thank you, Tamar, very much. Indeed, I've been in the parliament many times, in the parliament building, and I come often in the last couple of months for various issues, but I think it's the first time I'm here on the occasion of an event related to the Georgian Jewish relations and Israeli house, so it is indeed a different type of experience. What else can I say compared to what I already mentioned yesterday? Indeed, I'm happy myself, and we are proud as an organization that this instrument, the Cultural Roads, put together by the Council of Europe, has been found successful and important for marking the Jewish heritage across Europe and in Georgia in particular. And being in the parliament today, hearing Mr. Bar about the busy agenda of the Georgian-Israeli parliamentary relations, I mean, on one hand, I'm not surprised. Many of you may know already, as of last year and with the new constitution of Georgia, the Parliament of Georgia has taken up a number of additional responsibilities. Georgia is moving by virtue of this constitution towards a parliamentary model where the parliament assumes more and more responsibilities when it comes to the democratic control of the executive. And I mean, it's not a secret what I reveal, but the person behind that initiative is Tamar and her team. She designed a very thorough set of rules of procedure of the Parliament, which enable the Parliament to look closer and closer into the activities of the executive and to see how those are performed. That requires a lot of work and a lot of energy. So, as I said, it's no surprise to hear that this is the most active relation at the parliamentary level. On the other hand, of course, one would wonder where she finds the time and the energy. So it's more congratulations to her. I would also add, because it just struck me when Mr. Moise has mentioned it, being here between the two flags, which so it happens, they bear also a religious sign of the two communities. So I could add a bit of a personal experience. Me as a foreigner coming to Georgia, I knew in broad terms that Georgia is a South Caucasus country and an emblem of the South Caucasus, Christian country, which also is the cradle of wine. But coming here and starting to discover the details, and in this particular respect, the Israeli House and Mr. Moshe, you find what other things are enriching this country. And it's the communities, ancient communities like the Jewish one, that have been here for centuries, that have been, as Mr. Bar has mentioned, that have been safe here, that they have found a unique kind of environment where they could live and express themselves. And that's, I think, the richness of Europe. And this is where, again, I come to the relevance of the Jewish cultural route in Georgia, by means of which myself as well, I'm discovering small details, less known, which are brought to surface thanks to these efforts. They are bringing richness to Georgia and to all of us. So thank you very much for making me part of this event, and I'll always come with pleasure. Thank you.